name is Tim. I'm the Corporate Fitness Director for SAP Fitness, and this is the Strength and Balance Exercise Program for seniors to safely improve your strength and balance right here at home. Alright, so the plan for this video is to cover two different parts, okay? So we're going to do a strength part, which is going to comprise of 8 different strength exercises for your legs, your core muscles, and which is your trunk muscles, and your upper body, okay? And then we're going to go through 7 balance exercises, and I'm going to do a little bit of a bonus on fall recovery as well. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to cover our strength exercises first. Okay, so let's talk about the legs. Okay, so exercise number 1 is a chair stand-up. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to use a bench that I have here. You can use a bench at home, you can use a chair at home, you can use a sofa, okay, whatever is stable for you and comfortable. Okay, so start in a sitting position. Okay, so you can see me from the side over here. Start by sitting down, okay? And so you have a little bit of distance between you and the chair or the bench or whatever you're sitting out of. Don't be too close or else it'll kind of throw you off balance when you sit down. Okay, so sit in a normal position, and then this is a really simple exercise. All you're going to do on this one is make sure you're sitting and standing properly. So don't cross your arms over your chest. What you'll actually do is just throw your weight over your knees, and it's much easier to stand up, and then control the down part. So control sitting down, control, and we're standing up. And keep in mind, the most important thing to standing up is not just having strong leg muscles, also doing it properly. So what you can see me from the side here, what you see is I'm not just trying to stand straight up. In that case, my weight tends to go back. What I'm actually doing is leaning forward. So if you want to get up more easily, keep your feet flat on the floor. What I'm going to do is reach my head over my toes. I'm going to reach out with my hands, and my body's automatically going to come up. So you can do that and practice that at the same time, okay? We're going to come up all the way and then sit down under control. Stand up, sit down under control. And for these, kind of challenge yourself. Take that first set that you're going to do and try as many as you comfortably can. Maybe start with 10 and then work your way up. Each day, maybe try to add a few. Add 10 or 15. Try those 3 times a day and try at least 10 at a time. Okay, and then exercise number 2 for the legs is our countertop squat. Okay, so what I'm going to use is my countertop right here at home, and what you're going to see, I'm going to use my hands on this here, and then I'm just going to squat down. Okay, now what we're going to do, try to keep this handy just for your balance. Okay, so if you might lose your balance if you're out here in the open, you're squatting down. Okay, but try it up against the countertop to start so it's safe. Okay, so you're here, keep your fingers on here. You're not putting all your body weight on here, just your fingertips so you have some balance. Try to sit down and stand up. Now watch my knees here. What they're not doing is going forward over my knees. So make sure your heels stay down on the ground and you're pushing your bottom backwards while you keep your fingers on the counter. Okay, so for this exercise, this is our countertop squat. Okay, you can use any countertop, okay, any type of surface. That you can also use the back of a chair, okay, whatever's comfortable, but we're just going to use this countertop as an example. Okay, so we're here. This is our exercise. We're going to go as low as you can comfortably go. Okay, so on this one, just go down as far as you feel like you can go, and then try to stand all the way back up. Keep your fingertips on the counter, down as low as you can. Same as the other exercise. I would say try starting with about 10 if you can, and then try to build on top of that. Maybe challenge yourself on the first time to see maybe where your body's at. But same as the other exercise, I'd try 2 to 3 times a day for at least 10 repetitions. Okay, and then exercise number 3 for the legs is actually we're going to work the lower legs here, and we're going to work some other leg muscles in our balance exercise section. Okay, so for the leg exercises, this is another really safe exercise you can practice at home that's going to build your calf muscles. And keep in mind, your calf muscles are the muscles that are responsible for lifting you up onto your toes. Okay, they're also a primary part of your balance. Okay, so if those muscles are weak, your balance is going to be decreased. Okay, so watch me here. Okay, so you can see my feet. My fingers are on the counter for balance. I wouldn't try these in the open anyway. Okay, so you're up against something. Keep in mind, if you don't have a counter, you can always use a wall for these. Okay, or you can be in a staircase and be holding on to something. Just make sure you're safe. Okay, so for this, we're going to use the countertop. Okay, so calf raises. What we're going to do is focus on coming up onto your big toes. Don't go out onto your little toes. Focus on the big toes. It's going to look just like this. Good posture. We're not bent over this way. Okay, so you're looking up. We're close to the countertop here. Okay. Up onto your big toes, hold there. Come down slow, touch down, and come right back up. Just like so. Calf raises right at the countertop. Same thing on those. If you're taking them nice and slow, you might feel a little bit of burning in there at first, okay? Same thing as the others. I would try 10 repetitions in a row. Challenge yourself in the first time just to see where your body's at, but try 2 to 3 times a day for at least 10 repetitions. All right, so exercise number 4 today is we're going to start working on your core muscles. Keep in mind your core muscles play a big part in your balance. If your muscles of your core, meaning your abdominals and your obliques, intercostal muscles, all the muscles that are surrounding your trunk are your core muscles. Almost like you had a corset on and it was covering all this area. All the area between your ribs and your hips basically is your core area. So if we got to keep that strong or else you're going to get really wobbly, okay? And a lot of that is just a lack of core strength, okay? So we're going to work on your core strength for the next 3 exercises, okay? First one we're going to do is called an abdominal reach. This one. Okay, so this one we're going to be down on the floor. Make sure you're getting that down onto the floor safely. We're going to talk about a little bit more of that later, I should say. Okay, so abdominal reach for the core muscles. So on this one, if you have a mat at home, I would advise that. We're going to be here. Try to keep your feet visible so you can see your feet. Try to bring your legs up to 90 degrees. What we're not going to do is any abdominal crunching. Okay, so on this one, just keep your head down. Okay, so it's safe and comfortable. Keep your arms straight up. And what we're going to focus on this here is just reaching out. If I look down, I can still see my feet. If you lose track of your feet, it might mean you're going too far down. Okay, so keep your feet visible, not too far. I'm reaching over my head as far as I can comfortably go, and then I'm going to come back together. I'm trying to bring my forearms to my knees if I can, okay? Almost like I'm pretending I have a glass of water on my belly button. I don't want to spill, okay? So we're going to open, small reach, and then close. It's harder than it looks though. You'll really feel these muscles working. You might feel your low back working too. That's totally natural. Your low back is part of your core muscles, okay? So we're here. Small range of motion. Don't try to go all the way down. That'll be hard on your back, okay? So just keep it short. Here, I go further with my arms than I go with my legs, okay? Open up, breathe in, blow out, and then try to stop at the top if you can. Try to come to a little bit of a stop for about 1 second. Open and close, just like a pair of scissors, right? Open and close. So this is called the abdominal reach. What you're going to do on this one, same thing, just do as many as you comfortably can. I would say same thing, start with 10 and maybe challenge yourself. Just make sure you're doing the repetitions with good form. If you're starting to get really shaky, just make sure to quit on those. That means your abdominals or your core muscles have probably had enough, okay? So same as the others. I would try to start with 10 repetitions. Try the abdominal reach about 2 to 3 times a day if possible for at least 10 repetitions at a time. All right, so exercise number 5 here, we're still on the floor, okay? So this is another core exercise. It's also a good exercise for your legs at the same time, okay? So on this one, we're gonna be same thing on the floor, on your mat, and our hands are down on this one, okay? What we're gonna try on here is to just push off your feet and lift your belly button all the way towards the sky, okay? So we're lifting up, blow your air out, and then hold yourself at the top for about 2 to 3 seconds. Come down slow, and the second you touch down, try to come right back up, okay? It's gonna be easy if you just come down and lay there, okay? That's resting, okay? So try to come all the way up, lift your belly button towards the ceiling, hold, come down slow, and the second you feel your body touch the ground, come right back up. So this is what it should look like. Down slow, up, nice and straight, as high as you comfortably can, down slow. I'm breathing in on the way down, breathe in, breathe out. If you want to make that one just a little bit harder, what you can do is cross your arms over your chest so you're not using your arms, okay? And then we're pushing up, coming down, pushing up, and coming down. Similar with the other ones, I would try 10 of those in a row if you can. Try them 2 to 3 times a day and stick with it. Okay, and then exercise number 6 is our bird dog exercise. And this one we're going to be over onto our hands and knees here. What we're going to do is a little bit of a stability exercise. It's working the core muscles primarily along with your arms and legs a little bit, okay? Now this one's a little bit harder than it looks. Make sure we're in the right position. So you're on your hands and knees, but I would make sure your knees are about as wide as your hands. If your knees are too close together, this can be kind of a difficult exercise. It might be difficult anyway, but try to keep your knees about as wide as your hands are, okay? What I'm gonna do on this one is I'm gonna take my opposite hand and my opposite leg and I'm gonna move them out at the same time. So it's almost like you're a tabletop right now. You have an arm, or you have a leg, a leg, a leg, and a leg. So you got four table legs here. We're basically removing the opposite ones at the same time, and we're having to stabilize with the other two table legs, okay? So that's the idea. So on this bird dog exercise, it looks just like this. So I'm trying to reach out with my opposite arm, my opposite leg, and stay stable at the same time. So when we were doing the abdominal reach and we were flipped over, we were trying to, almost like we were isolating a glass of water on our stomach so it didn't flip over. Now, think of the same thing. We're trying to put a glass of water on our low back and keep that from spilling over, okay? So here, reach. And remember, this one might be a lot more wobbly than you think. If it's wobbly, that's okay. Just do your best with it, okay? We're here. Coming down. And then we're going to do the opposite side. Reach out. Reach out. Okay, and on that exercise, it's the same thing. Try maybe 10 on each side if you can, or maybe even 5 on each side if you get tired. Okay, stick with those. Same thing, maybe 10 total. Try 2 to 3 times a day. All right, exercise number 7 for the upper body, a little bit more for the arms, chest, and shoulders on this one. Our pushing muscles is our push up, okay? And what we're gonna do is modify that a little bit, okay? So, same position as the bird dog. We're still in the hands and knees position here, okay? So for your modified push up, all I want you to think about is this, okay? So normally when people do a modified push-up, they're in this position, but they tend to look right down here in between their hands, which you can see my neck here. It doesn't look really good, so I have a little modification for that too, okay? So what we'll do on this one, instead of looking here, try looking in between your, kind of in between your knees, right in between your ankles, okay? And that's actually a good place because we're gonna bring the top of your head in between your hands. That's the best way to do the modified push-up. Okay, so this is the way it should look. We're here, you have your mat here, I'm looking in between my knees, and I'm gonna bring the top of my head right in between my hands. So that's the modified push-up. If for some reason that one feels too easy, just walk your hands out a little bit, and then make sure you bring your body with it. So it's still the same exercise, a little bit harder the further stretched out you are, okay? Same thing though, you want to look in between your knees, make sure your head comes wherever your hands are. You don't want to put your hands out and be pushing up like that. You want to make sure you're in line with your hands, okay? So you're looking through, pushing down right in between your hands, push up, push up, push up. Try to make sure your shoulders stay down too. Try not to shrug your shoulders on this one, okay? So we're pushing right in between the hands, push, push. Sometimes those ones are a little bit harder than they look, so just try for as many as you can comfortably on the first time, see how many you can do, and then obviously as you're getting stronger, you're going to try to build those up. But same as the others, I would try them 2 to 3 times a day for at least, well, maybe 5 to 10 repetitions. All right, and if the push-ups off the floor are a little bit too difficult for you, remember you can try them at the countertop too, okay? You can also try them at a wall. I would say these would be the easiest ones, okay? But if you're just starting out, try them at a wall. You're going to get a little bit more difficulty when you try them at a countertop. So you're just adding a little bit more body weight to the exercise, okay? So for this one, countertop push-up, a little bit less hard than the floor push-up, but not too bad, okay? So this one, same idea. On this one, I would focus on bringing your chest bone in between your hands as opposed to the top of your head, okay? So on this one, we're going to be focusing more this push rather than obviously the one we did on the floor is not going to be the same on this one. So I'm up on my tippy toes here. I'm coming down, push. The higher your countertop is, probably the less difficult it's going to be, but the further you put your feet back, a little bit more angle, so it's a little bit more difficult. But make sure this one is safe for you. It's going to be the same. Just try picking the difficulty level that's best for you. You can choose the wall, you can use the countertop, or you can use the floor, whichever one works best for you. All right, and exercise number 8 for strength here is our tricep push-up off the floor. Okay, so watch this exercise. Okay, so on this one, we're going to be on our bottom. Okay, now this one doesn't look particularly hard, but it's a lot harder than it looks. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one is be up on your feet here. Okay, keep your feet flat on the floor, and we're going to push up onto your arms. Okay, we're going to lift, come down, lift. Now this is a small lift. We're not going down far. I'm just touching my bottom to the floor, and then I'm straightening my arms, but I'm trying to keep my body as high as I can. Okay, if you want to make that a little bit harder, you can lift your belly at the same time, okay? So we're lifting the trunk at the same time. Okay, but if nothing else, just try those tricep dips. This is a tricep push-up or a tricep dip off the floor, okay? So we're here, we're lifting up, push, push, push. The longer you hold yourself off the floor, keep in mind, there's a little bit of space between my bottom and the floor. The longer you hold this, the harder your triceps have to work, okay? So you don't have to go very far. Push, push, push. And if you want to make that a little bit harder, you can add a plank to that too. So we're lifting, and then lifting the belly, push up, and lift. See how this feel on your wrist? Try about 10 of those in a row if you can. Try them 2 to 3 times a day. All right, and a great variation for that, if you have a nice chair with 2 armrests on it, is a tricep dip out of the chair here using the handles or the armrests. Okay, so in this one, look at this. Okay, so I got my arms here. My feet are flat on the floor. What I'm going to try to do is just lift my, and you can have your hands here. You can have your hands here. It depends on how the armrest is built. Okay, so I'll demonstrate with my hands on the side, but they can also be done this way. We're going to be here. We're lifting yourself out of the chair. So that's a little bit harder than the one we did on the floor. Okay, we're lifting out of the chair, and we're holding yourself up for about 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, so same thing. If your armrest is built this way, this might be a little more comfortable for your wrists. Do whatever feels most comfortable. So we're lifting here, come down, lift, and we're not sitting until the very end. So try to minimize that rest at the bottom. Come up and then squeeze, hold your arms all the way straight. This is a surprising exercise. You can even do this exercise in a wheelchair. It works really great. We're coming down, pushing. All right, so try those tricep dips on the floor. If those are too easy for you, try them in the chair. Try using the armrest in a chair around the house if you have one. Add a little bit of intensity to the exercise. Okay. In terms of repetitions, try a little practice round. The first time you do them, to see how many you can get, try 2 to 3 times a day for at least 10 repetitions.